Namaste and welcome to this practice of pranayama and gentle flow. We'll be using some very gentle movements to bring our mind into our body, into the present moment, and also to create space within the body to receive the breath in a very effortless way. To begin, we'll come onto our back and prepare for our diaphragmatic breathing. Now, when you come down onto your spine, you're welcome to keep the knees bent or extend the legs. Now, if you are bending the knees, even taking the feet wider than the hips and letting the knees rest towards each other can often be a little more restful, particularly for the lower back. And just take these next few moments to feel your body resting on the support beneath you. Become aware of the parts of your body that touch down into the floor. Invite a sense of heaviness, making a choice to release some of that effort now, that holding. And as you begin to surrender the weight of the body, become aware of the front of the body, spacious, soft, an invitation to relax a little more now through the belly and across the chest. So begin to place one hand down on the lower belly beneath the navel. Of course, you could place both hands there if you like. And as we make this connection with the diaphragmatic breath, ultimately the chest will barely move, and the movement comes mostly now from the abdomen. As you inhale and the lungs receive the air, the diaphragm muscle just underneath the ribs presses down, which causes the abdomen to expand. As you exhale, the navel moves to the spine, diaphragm moves back up under the rib cage, and the lungs expel the air. But you'll notice me calling this a diaphragmatic breath or a soft belly breath. Now, to make that connection with the breath, let's take a few rounds of exaggerating the breath. If possible, bring the breath both in and out through the nose, and as you inhale, feel the belly expand under the hand. Almost like you're inflating a balloon, and then as you exhale, slowly draw that navel, but actively down to the spine, releasing the breath all the way out. Take another breath in, sense the belly expanding. And as you exhale, drawing the navel down, releasing the breath, you feel the tummy sinking. Let's take two more like this, really exaggerating the breath, helping the mind to connect with the body and the body breathing. Reconnecting with the diaphragmatic breath, reconnecting with your most natural breath is an excellent way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Begin to bring more clarity, more calm to the mind. Now you can start to soften the breath, almost as if you're stepping back from the doing, trusting that this breath continues. And you observe this breath as you continue to connect with the belly rising as you breathe in and falling as you breathe out. Breathing in, soft belly expands. Breathing out, soft belly gently contracts. patient and give yourself time just to fall into your own natural rhythm. And as you're following the breath moving in and the breath moving out, there will be times when thoughts arise. And for this time, rather than following those thoughts, could you choose instead to notice that thought as it arises, but let it pass by? As you follow the breath, you're aware of thoughts and aware of any other sensations. But you're making a choice not to hold on to anything in particular. Simply coming back to the breath, moving in, belly expands. And the breath moving out, belly softens. Breath moving in. Breath moving out. We're here for just one more minute. Anytime the mind becomes distracted, kindly invite it back to the soft belly rising and falling. The breath moving in and the breath moving out. Stay with this last breath. And remain reclined. If your knees aren't already bent, just bend the knees, take the feet wider, perhaps all the way out to the edges of the mat. Widen the arms, and just letting the knees fall to one side. And as you breathe in, bringing the knees back through center, and exhale to the other side. Inhale through center, and exhale to the other side. You might turn your head in the opposite direction of your knees. The next time you come to your preferred side, you're going to roll your entire body over to that side of your mat. And taking your time to come all the way up and find a seated position, cross-legged or any other position that feels comfortable for you. You could even sit up on a cushion. Let the hands come down to the knees as you find the spine lifting out of the pelvis. And then turning the palms up. As you inhale, circle the arms overhead, touching the palms overhead before you breathe out the hands down through center. Inhale to expand, to lift. You might even look up. And exhale, slowly drawing down while the spine remains tall and long. 2 more like this. As the palms meet at the heart, interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift the hands to the chin. Exhale, press the palms forward as you tuck the chin and lean back. And then return to that same position with the hands under the chin, breathing in, lift, and pressing forward as you exhale. And again, hands to the chin, lifting the head, lifting the elbows. Exhale, head is heavy. Feel the space between the shoulder blades. One more like this. Keeping the palms reaching forward, interlacing those fingers. Inhale and extend the arms up and overhead. Place the right hand down and reach that top arm all the way up and over. Just pulsing back through center as you inhale and exhale. Keep leaning over to that right side. And staying open through the torso, and that might mean that looking up under that armpit helps you to stay spacious from collarbone to collarbone. Next time you come through center, bring the opposite arm with you, and then moving to that second side. Just feeling all those little muscles in between the rib cage being expanded and stretched, creating more space to receive that full effortless breath. Coming all the way up, reach up as far as you can overhead and then soften the hands all the way back down through center. So letting the hands rest somewhere on the legs. Take a moment again to feel the length of your spine and how it allows this space through the front body. Connect with the way the belly is continuing to move effortlessly with the breath. Now, as we move into our Samariti pranayama, or also known as box breathing, even though we'll be adding a breath retention, we still invite that diaphragmatic breath. So we don't want the breath to come up into the chest and be short or shallow. If the breath hold is not suitable for you for any reason, see if you can stay with that diaphragmatic breath while you're remaining seated. You are also welcome to shorten the breath retention, the holds in between. So before we begin, we'll be taking a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. But as we move through the pranayama practice, if possible, keep that breath only through the nostrils. So let's begin taking that cleansing breath, long breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And continue. Adding that silent count in your mind with the breath. And that count for the spaces in between. Completing just one more round with those 4 parts to the breath. At the end of that round, simply let the breath control and the holds fall away. Allow your breath to return into a new natural rhythm and pace. Still aware of the space between, that natural pause. Observing your body breathing. Slowly cracking open the eyes, releasing the legs and just leaning back into the hands. As you did, recline, just find those slow windscreen wiper legs. In an unhurried way, so noticing that pause in between the breaths, that moment to linger in those 2 directions, those 2 shapes. Then coming all the way through center. So go on and fold your right leg, the sole of the foot coming somewhere to the inside of the left leg. It can be low, it can be high. And just start to slide the hands down that left leg, coming up as you inhale. On the exhale, head heavy, shoulders heavy, even allowing the spine to round a little. So we often think about the front body and the side body, and it's a little more challenging to become connected to the back body. But as you allow that rounding through the spine, feel that space between the shoulder blades and bring your attention to the back of the rib cage. So we're going to add on here. You'll slide the hands down the leg. Keep that left hand on the leg somewhere. Inhale, take the right arm up and around to the floor behind you. As you exhale, bring that arm back over toward the outside of that left little toe. Inhale to lift. And on your exhale, coming all the way back. Perhaps following the fingers with your gaze, lifting the spine, enjoying this thoracic spine twist, so this mid-spine twist. Again, it can become a little congested, day-to-day activities, tension in the body. So noticing that breath, filling the belly as the diaphragm moves down, filling the lungs, expanding the belly, but also imagine that you can sense the rib cage expanding outward as well, laterally. So then when you bring that hand behind you, take the left hand to the outside of that right knee. Bring your attention to the space, the front of the torso. Soft belly continues to move, enjoying that little twist through the thoracic spine. And then softening the head and shoulders back towards your left foot. Bring that right ankle now on top of the left knee. Lean back into the hands like you did a moment ago. And this time you're finding that figure 4 version of your windscreen wipers. So dropping the legs to one side. As you inhale, come back through center and exhale to the other side. Of course, you can always return to both feet on the floor. So not only are you expanding a little more here through the outer hips, just freeing up any tension through the hips, hopefully relieving the lower back, but as you look over each shoulder in the opposite direction, think again about that twist coming up into the mid and upper spine. Just one more on each side. And then when you come through center, we'll do that all again on the second side. So your right leg extends, left leg folds in. And just start by sliding the hands down the leg, rounding through the spine, head heavy. Your inhale picks you back up. And as you exhale, the navel moves to the spine and you've got space just to draw the front body down. And you're not concerned with how far forward you're folding. Notice though, as you do come forward and surrender to gravity, that natural rounding through the spine is creating a little more space in between each vertebrae. So we're going to be adding on after you've reached all the way down that right leg. Take a breath in and take the left arm up and round to the floor behind you and exhale across to that right little toe. When that left hand is on the floor or towards the floor, bring the opposite hand against that bent knee. Keep lifting the spine tall out of the pelvis. Remaining connected with the breath. Softening the head and the shoulders back to the front of your mat. Left ankle comes to rest on top of the right knee and leaning back into the hands. Let the legs drop to one side as you look over the opposite shoulder. Inhale back through center. Slow exhale. Not in a hurry at all. Remain connected with the breath. Is your intention here. Perhaps you're starting to sense the breath beyond the more obvious areas of your body. Noticing the belly expanding and contracting, but also noticing the touch of air at the nostrils. You may sense that the breath is helping you to find more ease in the body. When we breathe well and we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, we actually reduce inflammation within the body. We ease pain, we calm the mind. So finding your way back through center, and you can release both legs out in front of you. So once more, find your comfortable seat. And I wonder if you can find your way back to that effortless diaphragmatic breath, that soft belly breath. I know that you can easily drop into the feeling of the body being breathed, not needing to add a count, not holding the breath, Noticing that natural space at the top of the inhale before breathing out. That effortless space at the bottom of the exhale before breathing in. Because you can trust that the breath will continue all on its own, can you now begin to give more attention to those spaces in between? To those moments of nothingness between those actions. Taking your time to find your way back down onto the mat. I'm going to lie this way so you can see a little easier. You're going to be rolling over to your left side. So bringing your head down, you could even have a cushion here. The left arm extends out to the side. The right hand comes to meet that palm. Just get comfortable with the legs if you need something between the knees or if you need to adjust them in any way. The focus here again is expanding through the thoracic and the rib cage to create more space for the breath. And once you've got that all set up, start to slide the right fingertips along the palm, along the inside of that arm, across the chest and all the way to the other side. And then just bringing that arm back through space across the chest for the palms to meet. As you inhale, slide the fingertips across the arm, across the chest to open. Exhale slowly with control, closing back down. And as you continue, you can think about opening the most precious book that you own. The pages are so thin, so delicate, so that you're taking your time, being so careful with this precious book that you're opening each of the pages and then closing back down. If it feels nice to turn the head towards that top hand, even as it moves to the other side, you could add that on as well. Notice in between the breaths opening and closing, those moments once again to pause, to savor. At the top of the inhale, that sensation of filling up. At the bottom of the exhale, emptying everything out. Slowly, mindfully, taking one more round here. Eventually meeting with the palms together or resting towards each other. You can even soften the elbows, just get relaxed here for a moment. And very easily just start to slide your way onto your back and melt your body through center before extending the right arm. The knees come to the right side. Left hand comes toward the right palm. Setting the legs up so they feel supportive. And when you're ready, inhale, slide the fingertips along the inside of the arm across the chest and unfold. Exhale, closing that arm, that hand back down. And continuing with your breath, that slow, effortless breath that moves your body. Enjoy the way that this can nourish your body as you're moving within your own limits. And rather than looking to strain or bring more effort, more doing into your body or into your life, find this way of ease, whether it's softening the elbows, maybe not reaching as far, and finding contentment with where you are. Enjoy these last two, opening and closing with the breaths. At the end of your last one, just resting on that side. From here, rolling all the way onto your back, either extending the legs, bending the knees, or using a bolster under the legs. To begin with, rest the hands, one or both, down on the lower belly. Connecting to that natural diaphragmatic breath. And perhaps you are noticing that your breath has managed to slow down. Slow movements, less breath required. Noticing the mind's willingness to do a little less, to rest. And when we peel all of that away, creating that space for that easy, effortless, natural breath. Many studies have been done on the value in slowing down the breath. So without strain, without effort, feel in once again to those natural spaces between the breaths. Within these studies, it's been shown that slowing the breaths down to take only 6 breaths within a minute is the most beneficial way to breathe and receive the benefits for the parasympathetic nervous system and ultimately the entire wellness of the whole body. So just take your time to feel into that slow breath. Could you now start to count the breaths down from 6 to 1? I'll let you know when that minute has ended and we will begin again. Please avoid straining yourself Just notice what comes naturally to you for this moment today. Take a breath in and counting down the exhales from 6 to 1. Inhale and begin again. If you're taking more than 6 breaths, it's no problem. Simply becoming aware of your breath and inviting more space in an effortless way is also providing so many benefits to not only the physical body but your mental current state. Inhale for this final round, counting the breaths down from 6 to 1. And stepping back now from counting the breaths, feel into the space, allow space. There's nothing else that needs to be done. Use these last few moments to rest. I do hope it's possible for you to stay here for a little longer. You deserve it. But when it is time for you to re-enter this day, move slowly. Be kind to yourself. Try not to get busy too quickly, to fill every moment and every gap in between. And I wish you well.